Go on then.
Hello and welcome to episode 1, season 5 of A Village in Crisis, a podcast in which two heroes dig into the local Facebook group of a disaster-hit village and attempt to solve problems by taking the piss out of some people and championing others. This week we'll be taking a quick look at a thread about some predatory pedos and then digging deeper into a story about some naughty boys on motorbikes in a village down the road. Before we do that, though, we've had a week off between season 4 and 5, which means that we haven't heard from my old mate Lee Phillips in a while. So let's check in with him and see what's been going on in his life. Hello, Lee. How are you?
Hello, Neil. Good afternoon. I'm all right. Yeah, it's been busy. Life has been busy.
Busy doing what, Lee?
Not a lot, really, actually. When I say busy doing nothing.
Right.
I know I'm organising. Work's been busy. Going out, setting up the second shop for the summer is busy. I've sort of adopted this very nonchalant attitude to important events that are coming up.
Which isn't like you. You're usually a planner.
Yeah, I'm a planner, but when it comes to this sort of thing, I just feel like no, I can't. It's too far ahead for me to get my mind around it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. What events?
So we're opening the shop next Friday, and my wife's been on about, like, you know, is it under control? And I'm like, yeah, everything's under control. And I've ordered all the branding and stuff, and it's coming like 2 days after we open. But I'm like, nah, you know, say la vie, which is unlike me, but I like to be like this now.
Yeah. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
That is easily my favourite expression of yours that I've adopted. Easily. And when I use it, I wish it got more
kudos.
Yeah, it deserves much more praise than it usually gets. But maybe there's a bit of a sort of Jeremy Clarkson to it, though.
There's a couple like that aren't old favourites of mine. There's that I always think should get a bit more. And then if there's something I don't want to do, I'd say I'd rather shit into my hands and clap. And I always think that...
yeah.
I always think that doesn't get quite enough respect. Tough crowd, I suppose.
Tough crowd. Yeah, I mean, if it was just me and you, we could have a right laugh all day long just coming out of these. And also, my oldest daughter, she's graduating from what in England would be sixth form or college, but almost sort of like in Sweden, it's a bit of an Americanized system. So I'd describe it as sort of junior college.
Right.
So it's a big deal, apparently. It's all new to me. And my wife's a bit stressed at work, so I've taken on the heavy lifting for this one.
Okay.
And as I was saying, I've been really, really nonchalant about it all. Like, it's on Wednesday, don't worry about it. But apparently the garden needed sorting. So I spent about 5-6 hours in the blazing sun yesterday sorting out the bushes, doing the grass, and we don't have a lawn anymore, so I use the hedge trimmers, just clipping the grass on my hands and knees. Took me about an hour. So I just asked the neighbour. I was too proud to I was like, no.
I was going to say that. Why didn't you just go next door and say, can I borrow your lawnmower?
Nah, not interested.
No, because how embarrassing would that be? You'd rather have him look out the window and say, darling, you know the guy next door? He's out there again. He's on his hands and knees. He's cutting the lawn with a hedge trimmer.
It's not a hedge trimmer. It was like a pair of shears. You
just said it was a hedge trimmer.
Yeah, a pair of shears.
You were cutting the lawn with shears?
Yeah. It wasn't electrical or anything. I was doing it on my hands and knees with a pair of shears.
Fucking hell.
I was like this. I was absolutely pouring sweat. I was like, all you could hear for an hour was as I was going like this. My fucking lats are on fire this morning.
I bet it looked Bet it looks good though.
No, it's as dry as fuck, and there's
Oh.
like it's all weedy and horrible. I mean, it's not like it's a putting green. Like,
Right.
oh, you have to be so exact. Nah, it's nothing like that. It's still shit, but it's better than it was. And then also, this is a bit like sort of digressing a little bit. On our street, all the houses, it's made up of like a board. So anyone can be on the board, but then they sort of decide how the money gets spent on, you know,
like a community pot.
Yeah, community pot, if you like. This is a very Swedish way of doing things. Anyway, and the newest guy on the street is a right hippie, yeah,
Right.
married to some long-haired freak, married to some Oriental bird from California, into tech and whatnot.
Okay. Hello, if you're listening.
And I actually like her, but he's just, he's always out on the street, always takes up too much room. His kids are they always have to like get out of the way because you're getting your car out, and then he's really lumbersome in how he goes over to get them out of the way.
Right.
I mean, I don't need anyone running over, breaking a sweat, going, but I do need a bit more pace than what he delivers when he's
a sense of urgency.
Some form of like a tingling of urgency is all I need. And also, I know for a fact this guy, he don't do any shopping, right? Like on a sort of a grand scale. He goes to the local shop and buys whatever's going out of, I was going to say fashion, out of date on the day, which is, great. But also, who has the fucking time and energy to go to the shop every day to plan a meal for each day?
You're talking to Mr. Co-op here.
Yeah, but do you go every day? I know
often.
You do love a trip to the shop.
Often.
This is what annoys me, and now I'm digressing again, but it's another tangent. This is what annoys me. The only thing that annoys me when we come to stay at yours is you always save that fucking trip to the shop to when we just get there. So we get there, and I'm like, yeah, let's have a beer. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Well, let's just go to the co-op and get all the stuff we need to get, and then we can have a beer. How about that, Lee? And I'm just like, no, give me a fucking ice cold beer, and you go down the shop, because you should have done this before we arrived, because that's what I would have done.
You like the co-op?
I like it like maybe once in a week, right? not the frequency you spend down there. Anyway, he says to me as I'm walking down the road, like about half a year ago, we're all the houses are being painted. And I'm thinking, well, my house don't need painting at the moment. It looks all right. So I'm like, oh, what's that going to cost? And he's like, £4,500. And I went, no, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, it now turns out, right, that they're painting the houses on the street, and we're probably going to be the only people on the street with our houses, my house being painted. So it's gonna
what colour are they painting them?
They're the same colour as they are. Like, so 2/3 of the houses are yellow, and ours are black, sort of black green, like black. So everyone's going to get a fresh lick of paint, apart from ours.
Is this going to happen before the graduation party at your house? Are people going to turn up and go, "Oh my god"?
Well, they're painting them at the moment. 2 doors down, the hippie's having his house painted as we speak. So yeah, I was just like, I ain't got $4,500 or whatever it's going to cost me to do the house, and and he was all like, he was being a right knob about it as well. He said, no, well, it's your choice. You don't have to. It's just that everyone else will, and and he's getting his fucking knickers in a twist in a very passive aggressive way.
Yeah,
because
it sounds to
our
me
house is going to stick out.
It sounds to me, right, I'm going to speculate about the hippie here. This is a guy that goes and gets the out-of-date stuff every day. This guy's a money saver. He's shrewd with money.
Yeah.
What he's done, he's gone to the house painting company and said, I can get you X amount of business. My house gets painted free of charge.
Probably.
That's why he's so bothered about getting people in. Otherwise, why would he give a shit whether you get your house painted or not? He's guaranteed them a certain amount of business as long as he gets his house painted free of charge.
He's the head of the board as well now. He's taken on that role. And what's funny is the board, they convene once a year I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the only time I went was because our neighbours wanted the communal parking spot, which was outside our house and his house, turned into his own. He wanted to turn it into some kind of me and him share it and have a schedule. And I was just like, fuck off. You can have it, mate. Look, it don't bother me. I'll park around the corner where my spot is. And he went, oh, no, we'll do it right. And I went, nah, whatever. And then we had to put this as a proposal to everyone on the street. So I didn't even want to go to this like yearly board meeting, but I did it for him so that I said, yeah, I back Frederick's move. And Sarah came, my wife came with me, and we ended up having an argument in front of about 50 families.
Yeah.
And Sarah stormed out of the meeting. And I gave it about 5 minutes and went, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go catch up with my wife.
And what did you argue about
afterwards? Huh?
What had you argued about?
No, it was this, right? There was another woman on the street, and she was going on about how the cars drive too fast down the road, and she was banging on about like how her kids are the most important thing to her in the world. And I just turned around and said, everybody's kids are the most important thing to them in the world. This isn't an original thought you're just having. And it was just banging on. It had gone on for 2 hours without anything being really done. And I was getting really frustrated. It was in the summer, it was hot. And I said to me like that. And then Sarah started going, just reacted like, don't be so rude. And I just said, I turned to her and said, I'm not rude. This is boring. Something like that. And then Sarah just went, I'm not saying it with you. You're so like disrespectful, and got up and stormed off.
It's so it must be so alien to them having a non-Swede in that environment that essentially is prepared to turn around and say, shut up, you fucking boring cow.
Yeah, it is, because they would sit there. They're almost like fucking North Koreans, where they would sit there for about 6 hours and let this guy bang on and not say, hang on. It's driving me insane. So anyway, there's a little bit of an update on what's going on in our street.
Okay, that sounds good. For my side of things, I went on holiday. Didn't I? Told you about that.
I always forget to ask you how you've been and what you're doing.
It's fine. It's because I think that's because I'm the host and you're like, I suppose I'm the straight man and you're the entertainment.
I think also I'm quite self-centered and egotistical. I've been told.
Yeah, well, we both might fit into that category, because now I want to tell you about me. But I've told you anyway. I messaged you and I was like, I got stung by a jellyfish.
Yeah, that must be a first, right?
It is a first. And I don't know for sure that it was a jellyfish, but I was in the sea and then my foot started burning like fucking crazy. And it wasn't a candle.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been, would it?
No.
It does sound like you were stung by a jellyfish. Sarah got stung by 3 wasps yesterday at the same time.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, one on her forehead, one on the back of her arm, and one on her leg.
That sounds targeted. What's she been doing?
Well, I think she disturbed a mini nest or something.
Right. That's disappointing.
I would have wilted, right, if I'd been stung 3 times at the same time.
Yeah.
I would have been on the sofa going, woe is me, like all feverish probably.
Yeah.
With the back of my hand on my forehead. But
same.
She just carried on as if nothing happened. Her head, apart from the fact she had 3 massive lumps on her.
Women are fucking hardcore. They'll just take that shit and carry on.
Yeah, they will. You're right.
Sal said she thought she was going to have to carry me out the sea.
Oh God, I'd have paid. The only problem is that Sally's you're small, but she's the same sort of size as you. It would have been hilarious to see your Sally carrying you out of the sea. I would have given anything to see that.
And then the only other thing of note that I thought was funny on holiday, we're sitting around talking, and like Facebook groups came up and how mental people are on Facebook. And my mum said to me, God, remember you did that terrible podcast about Facebook groups? I said, yeah, well, I still am, and thanks for listening.
Terrible podcast. God, your mum sounds like a right bitch.
Yeah, absolutely out of order.
I was going to say something else then, but it's gone out of my mind now. It'll come back to me. Okay, should we do some...
Should we get into the thread? Well, I'll skip the first bit about the predatory pedos because we're against the clock a bit. So I'll get into the main thread, and we can always come back to that another time.
Yeah, well, a little teaser there for
Yeah,
next week,
teaser.
maybe.
We might come back to some predatory pedos. So this is a thread it's in the next village, and it's from it's Anonymous who
That's
who
clever, by
starts
the
the
way.
thread. Yeah, I've used that before and I like it. Again, probably doesn't get the credit it deserves, but
No.
she's posted as an anonymous member, so she is anonymous. And she's posted, anyone recognise these young bikers? And then there's 4 photos of lads on motocross, scramble bikes with crash helmets on. Scramblers. Like, proper
Before we get into it, did you ever watch Kickstart when you were a kid?
I was about to say, think Kickstart. Kickstart was
brilliant.
the best program of the summer holidays.
Yeah, so good. When they go up the obstacle course, like when they had to hop on the back wheel, and you're thinking they're never getting up there, and they just bunny hopped up it on the back wheel of a motocross bike. Absolutely brilliant.
That was they should bring that back. That was an absolutely brilliant program.
Yeah, all right.
I'd watch it now. Had good theme tune as well.
Yeah.
Dun,
okay.
Dun, 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 dun. Do you remember that?
No.
Shame, because that's quite embarrassing now. Anyone recognise these young bikers? And then she's followed that up with another message, riding along such and such. Hannah harming anyone comes in first. Are they really doing any harm as long as it's not on the roads? She got 7 likes for that. That's someone who's come straight in, doesn't know the full details.
Well, she did ask the question, are they doing any harm?
Yeah, are they doing any harm? Vicky Victim is the first to respond. Hannah, if it's the same ones as I've encountered, then yes. They throw stones at cars and catapult ball bearings. They ride on roads illegally, are a noise menace and are destroying crops, paths and trees. This is absolutely antisocial and illegal behaviour. The police confiscated a quad bike being ridden by an 11-year-old on local roads recently. This is part of the same crew, I suspect.
Oh, I love the fact that she's just thrown quad bikes into scramblers and gone, same crew.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I don't know. Do you want my opinion straight off the bat, early doors? Just to...
It's always good to get your opinion early, and then we can
see how wrong I was.
Yeah. All right.
I would fucking detest this. I was out for a run this morning because I've started my training for my ultra marathon, by the way.
Yeah.
Which I'll probably give you a week by week update on if that's
of
interest. Anyway, I'm running out in this national park, which is just behind where I live. You've been there.
Yeah.
And it's clear signs that you're not allowed to cycle on there. And people are cycling, not even motocross or scramblers or quad bikes, cycling, and it really boiled my piss.
Yeah, because there's a sign
to the point where I ran straight out the bikes, where they had to put their brakes on, and then they looked at me, and I didn't say anything, and I just carried on running,
thinking it was the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So Hannah harming anyone responds to Vicky Victim and says, "Well, that is a nuisance then." So she's glad she joined this thread. Anyway, in comes the star of the thread, in my opinion, Melanie Moron. She says, Vicky, and what reason do you have to assume they are part of the same as the quad incident? One 11-year-old gets caught and all of a sudden all youths are tarnished the same. Which is what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she's come in with a fairly good point, Melanie.
Well,
Vicky Victim
agrees with me doesn't mean that it's a good point, but it does. But I'm just trying to give balance to my intelligence and savviness.
Vicky Victim. Well, Melanie, because I have seen the quad rider on a trail bike, because I have thousands of pounds of damage to my property because of them, because the description of the behaviour matches the boys that I have seen.
What could they have done that caused thousands of pounds of damage?
Well, let's assume, we're in the countryside here. Let's assume that Vicky owns a farm.
Yeah.
And they've razzed through a field of crops.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I can imagine that's happened.
Yeah. Melanie Moron, Vicky, rubbish. You are classing them all the same. The boys have crash helmets on. You can't see them. Don't speculate.
I like it.
Yeah. Jenny joining. Melanie, if they act recklessly with no respect for private property and the law, what do you expect? And then Vicky Victim says, Melanie, I said if quite clearly at the top of my post, and the poster also makes it clear these riders are not obeying the law. So a bit of a piling on Melanie at the moment, and still a bit of speculation, as to who these lads are.
Yeah.
Lenny Legal comes in. Even on green lanes, bikes should be roadworthy and have insurance. What would happen if a dog or a child got hit by one?
Fair point.
It'd fucking hurt. That's for
Yeah.
certain. I've
Yeah,
seen
it would.
someone before get run over just by a push bike.
Yeah.
And that is a hell of a mangle of two bodies when a bike hits a person.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
They really got twisted up.
That's why I'm laughing, because I can imagine it. I see it in my mind's eye. Just like the whole, like, almost like a cartoon, like where they just fucking rolling around in a dust ball, and then all of a sudden they come out and there's one person with like stars,
big bump out the top of the head and birds flying around it.
Yeah.
Melanie Moron responds to that. Oh, and you have never done anything wrong when you were kids, did you? Leave them be and let them have a childhood. At least they aren't sitting gaming all day.
I'd argue that sitting and gaming is better than razzing around the countryside on a quad bike or a motorbike that you're probably too young, unqualified, and uninsured to drive.
Yeah, exactly. At least they're not sitting around gaming. I couldn't give a fuck if these kids sit around gaming, as long as they're not running over kids and dogs on the bridleway.
All this business about like, oh, at least they're not gaming. We fucking Game Boy'd and Nintendo'd our way through our youth.
Yeah.
Didn't we? Some of us even fucking Sega Mega Drived and what was the other really expensive one? The Neo or whatever it's called. Neo Geo.
I never had a console.
No, all right.
No, first console I had was. Well, that's why I'm so well read. I was out on scramblers killing dogs and kids.
I was going to say, there's no fucking way you were on a scrambler. No, you are not a scrambler person.
No,
absolutely I don't think you'd have the first clue what to do, how to start it.
No, I wouldn't. And I wouldn't want to. Because I'm a law.
You'd love to be able to ride a scrambler.
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
You'd love to be able to just jump on a bike and boom in one go, one jump and one start in one go.
Well, and
you'd love to be that person.
Wheelie off.
Yeah, if you like, but at least
I'm not that kind of guy. You're putting your own feelings onto me here. That's
I can do exactly what I just described.
Can you? You can jump on a scrambler, start it in one. So in one movement. I could
probably not do the bit where you jump onto it and put your foot down at the same time, but I could definitely sit on a scrambler and start up first time and drive off into the sunset. No problem.
You fuck.
Fucking could. Used to ride scramblers all the time when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of your old school friends listens to this and will be in touch with us with an update on the scramblers.
Absolutely. And we can name Michael and Douglas Milner, who used to have one. And we used to go out into the back fields in Benson, not far from the listener's home himself. And we used to ride out there. No problem at all. And I was doing it even before then.
Fucking hell. Evil Knievel.
Oh, check me out.
Yeah. So anyway, Melanie Moron. Leave them be and let them have a childhood. At least they aren't sitting gaming all day. And Anonymous responds, unbelievable. Melanie Moron, anonymous member, yes, you are unbelievable. Get a life. Leave the kids alone.
These kids, I mean, there's one thing to say, maybe it's not the same gang or crew or whatever, but these kids are a menace. And not, the small fact of them going around firing, catapulting ball bearings all over the place should suggest that, you know, they shouldn't be knocking around and they should be at home with a fucking, I don't know, playing Fortnite or whatever.
Yeah. Well, Jenny Joining comes in and says, I bet your opinion would be different if it was your property damaged.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Melanie Moron responds, I think you were just adding that to make them look bad, and you know it. You seem to have a problem with kids enjoying themselves.
She's making her sound like Mrs. Trumbull from Matilda or something.
Yeah. Trunchbull, not Trumbull. You don't like being corrected on that, do you?
You didn't see the original Matilda then?
No, I read it. I wasn't out on a scrambler looking cool as fuck. Quentin question comes in. Do you think it's acceptable to ride a motorbike on a public road without MOT, tax, insurance and a licence?
I'll bore off, you cunt.
Melanie Moron. They're not on a public road if you look at the pictures. And then Quentin question says, although it may not be the same ones, I have seen youngsters on motorbikes on a public road with no number plates doing wheelies. Did they ride on a public road to get there? That's it. I mean, these bikes haven't magicked themselves to this field.
They've certainly not chopped it in, have they?
And also, I'm going to say this village, the next village along, isn't very big. And it's a fucking big coincidence if there's two groups of 4 lads razzing round on scramblers with no number plates.
Yeah, I think I was just trying to get balance to it, but it's definitely the same crew, and even if it's not, they're probably crews by association, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, if you've got a couple of kids with scramblers and somebody goes, I'm just going to get myself a quad bike, they know who they are.
Yeah.
They know each other.
Anonymous comes back in and she says, so it's okay for kids to cause thousands of pounds of damage and break the law as they are kids. No wonder they have no respect if that's an adult's and a parent's point of view. Melanie Moron responds, anonymous member, you need to get a life. Leave those kids alone.
Anonymous has taken some fucking hits here that are unnecessary. Like it's a bit unfair, I'd say.
Yeah. Melanie Moron carries on.
Yeah.
I don't know who she's responding to here, but she says, just as I expected, I knew you was going to use that excuse. Again, you are now surmising. Well, I knew you were going to use that excuse, but again, you are now surmising. As she carries on, they are not doing any harm at all. All this about damaging property, it's all lies, just to make it look bad for those kids having fun.
That's quite a claim.
Yeah.
I'd suggest that this woman, sorry, just to jump in, is one of the kids' mums.
It's looking that way, isn't it? It's a strong defense of these kids.
Overly strong, I would suggest.
Anonymous responds to Melanie Moron. Would you like to come and view the damage? To which Melanie Moron responds, anonymous member, what, the damage you mean broken that's always been there? I don't mean that, Melanie, because it doesn't make any sense at all, you fucking moron. What, the damage you mean broken that's always been there?
I think she's trying to say that it's always been broken.
What
and
has?
Now she's just whatever's damaged,
right.
The fences or I don't know.
And then Melanie Moron carries on. I notice you didn't dare put your name and is anonymous. Is it because you're worried of being found out who you are with all your lies?
Jesus.
I
suggest that Melanie Moron is batshit crazy.
She's got the bit between her teeth here, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's gone full social media, keyboard warrior.
Rogue.
rogue. Yeah, she's gone rogue.
Anonymous responds, no, not at all. Don't know why you think they are lies. The police have been and taken video CCTV footage of it happening, and I have a crime number.
Oh, good for you.
So Melanie Moron then responds, at least we now know who reported the quad. Vicky Victim comes into that. I am being targeted. She said, Melanie Moron, I am being targeted because I had the audacity to report the behaviour to the police. I don't blame anyone for staying anonymous, as some of what I am experiencing is dangerous and very scary. Perhaps you enjoy having ball bearings catapulted at your head and your property, but I don't.
I'd be so surprised if she said, yeah, I'm well into that.
I fucking love that, actually.
Bend over and catapult them at my ass. Ball bearings all over my bare skin. Fucking hell. I mean, you'd have to suggest that she's got her there. She's up against the wall with that one.
You know what? There are people out there that will be well into having ball bearings fired at them, won't they?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Fucking
Yeah, for sure.
well into it.
I think anything you can think of can be turned into a perversion.
Yeah, there's someone out there. Do you think there's someone out there right now, up against a wall, probably tied up, who's having ball bearings fired at them and really getting off on it?
100%. 100%. I'm looking at a jar of tomato sauce in front of me, and I'm thinking someone's probably whacked their willy in that and done stuff that they shouldn't have.
Well, you shouldn't
Not
sell
in
that
just
jar.
that one on my table counter. That one's still sealed. But in general terms, if you can think it's been done, and it's definitely been done for a perverted reason.
Well, Anonymous comes in, and she could be speaking to us here. She says, Melanie Moron, you are getting very childish and not painting yourself in a very good light.
Don't know why she'd be speaking to us.
Melanie Moran responds to Vicky Victim, who said about having the ball bearings catapulted at her head. Well, Vicky, you shouldn't tell lies then, really. You can keep trying to justify yourself. I will stick up for those kids. You have assumed it's to do with a quad on such and such road, but you have no idea who they are at all, and no proof either. You have put this on such and such community hub, and such road is in the next village. Stop attacking innocent kids. And then she carries on. Anonymous member, swallow your own words, love. I'm sticking up for those kids, who I may add, you don't know. Leave them alone.
God.
She carries on and tags someone else. Such and such. Read these comments. Kids being penalised for something they ain't done.
I love the way that she's gone from affluent Cambridge to proper Cockney.
Yeah, street.
Yeah, she's making her sound like a Fagin or someone.
I'm wondering if she's kind of heads up a local mafia division.
Maybe she just sends them out to cause mayhem in the community for some unknown reason.
It could be a distraction. So they go out and do that while Melanie Moron and her team of adults are out committing real crimes.
What kind of crimes would you speculate they're into?
Burglary. I'm going burglary.
What kind of high-class burglary, or proper smash a window, open it from the inside, and
I reckon they're nicking
carry TVs out, or
they're nicking Range Rovers to do like smash through windows of shops and try and wrench the cash points away.
That is. That's the first, when you said they were burglars, I was like, okay, maybe they're sort of like Angelina Jolie kind of burglar, or a Catherine Zeta-Jones nicking the diamond. But now you've sort of, they're coming across as a lot stockier, a lot more sort of hardened.
Yeah. I don't think you fuck with Melanie Moron and a band of merry men.
All right.
And Anonymous comes back in, and she says, Melanie, you obviously know them then. One of their mates has already squealed, so we know more than you think.
Oof, what does that mean?
Well, Melanie Moran responds, anonymous member, they don't grass on each other. More lies. Anonymous responds, they do grass under pressure, anything to get themselves off the hook.
Oh, what's going on?
Melanie Moron, stop lying. Under pressure, my ass. They had helmets on. You can't see who they are, and you wouldn't know where they live, but they know where you live.
Oh, I love it. This is one of the kids' mums. I swear to God, it is.
Yeah,
And
it
she's a
has to
proper
be.
rough un
Yeah,
and a wrong un. And she knows exactly what her kids have done. She's just going with the moral high ground because there's no proof
no.
that we know of.
This is someone who is experienced, I'd say, has experience of being arrested and giving no comment interviews.
Definitely, definitely. Or being arrested and just sitting there just going, you ain't got nothing on me, you fucking pigs. Yeah. Just like that.
Yeah,
nothing on me, you fucking pigs.
You fucking, we don't grass.
Yeah, we don't grass. They don't grass. There's no chance. Now I know you're lying because they never grass.
But they know where you live. Vicky Victim comes in.
Sorry, I just love it when it goes that dark, when it goes to proper threats.
Yeah. Do you get then, like, if you're involved in this conversation and then someone chucks up, but they know where you live, does your arsehole suddenly tighten up a bit and you think, oh, I've picked the wrong people here?
No, I'd probably go the other way and say, you know, what do you say? Like front them up about it. Maybe even say, yeah, I live here. Come by anytime you can.
Send them round.
Send them round whenever you want, mate. And then sit at home looking through the curtains, going, "Oh fuck, what have I done?"
Or just give someone else's address.
Yeah, somebody I really hate.
Or give the address of someone just over the road so you can see what kind of retribution there might be.
Give him the hippies address.
Paint that, you fucking cunt.
I just see them spray paint his house, his newly painted glossed house with a 12-year guarantee, and they've just gone over and fucking spray painted hippie all over the walls.
Vicky Victim comes in. If they are such good law-abiding kids, why does knowing where the poster lives sound like a threat? And I'd say it does sound like a threat.
Because it is a threat.
Yeah. Melanie Moron. Vicky, you took it as a threat. That's your choice. Another exaggeration and a lie.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, how else do you interpret that? Vicky Victim.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was just going to say the problem with these people that have, you know, got the balls to be able to just sit there and go, you know, nothing. You got nothing on me. Is that is their only move.
Like I've said to you on here before, and you gave a funny retort, but you can't argue with an idiot.
Yes, you can.
That's what you said last time.
Just let them talk, and they will tie themselves in knots.
Yeah, but they won't realise they are.
No, but you know, they will.
Anyway, Vicky Victim responds. She says, Melanie, please explain what you meant by the comments then. Assume that I'm too thick to understand what it meant. Melanie Moron, you must be thick if you can't understand the comment. Think it's self-explanatory. You took it as a threat, which is ridiculous. You love making things up, don't you?
It's a shame that she's backed away a little bit there and didn't. Can't she just own her comment?
Well, she's carried on. You want to carry on messaging and telling lies, then do. I will answer back every time to protect them kids. Those kids. Anonymous responds to that, the original poster, just with 7 laughing emojis. And Melanie Moron says, anonymous member, No more lies left to say now, hence all the laughing faces. Goodbye, liar. And anonymous.
I reckon.
Go on.
I was going to say, I reckon finishing dropping calling someone a liar as an insult in that kind of way is probably really like up there with some of my favourite discourse. I like it.
It's
Liar.
good.
And then
See you later, liar.
See you later, liar.
So anonymous responds with loser. And then she gives an update. They were riding on such and such a road, then riding through wheat crops. You have to have a license, tax and insurance to ride on roads, and you have to be older than 15. Carly Contribute comes in. We've spoken about people like her before. She's one of those knobs that's seen a thread and just feels she needs to contribute.
Well, thank God for them.
Yeah, she comes in. I don't care about them riding wherever, but what I would like to know, if they are young, now it's getting to the part of the year where we can all enjoy our hobbies, if they have been told, if they know how to react when they meet horses on byways and bridle paths.
Oh, so you do care how they and where they ride, actually?
Yeah. That sounds like someone who really cares.
I don't give a shit as long as around horses, they're not razzing their bikes around.
Anonymous says, I seriously doubt it. They nearly ran 2 people on foot over. And then Carly Contribute says, oh, that's a shame. If they just respected everyone doing what they were doing, I'm sure no one would batter an eyelid at them. If they're being nasty and disrespectful, obviously it's going to get people's backs up. Thanks for coming into this thread, Carly. You've offered absolutely nothing.
What she's done, Carly, is showing what an absolute twat and hypocrite she is.
Yeah. Yeah, she's coming with a post saying, I don't care about them riding wherever, as long as it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, basically. Don't you think that if these kids, clearly, because this isn't, I'm not sitting here, you've described a situation where there are kids riding quads and scramblers, and I've already told you how adept I am at riding quads and scramblers, and I did that as a kid myself. From the ages of I'd say 10 up to 16. That's when I was at my most active on a scrambler, I'd say.
A 6-year scrambling period.
On and off, yeah. Scrambling and quad biking have always been a big part of my life. Anyway.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, what was I going to say? So there's still an interest in that activity, that sport, that hobby, whatever you want to call it. For me, it was a lifestyle choice. But wouldn't it be advantageous to set up some kind of course, not as in court, like a proper track where people could go and use it, like you do with skateboard parks and stuff?
Yeah, but then
I guarantee if you did that and it was good enough, I don't think kids are going to be razzing through the wheat fields.
Are these little shits coming down and paying though? Because you're going to need insurances and stuff like that, or are they just jumping over the fence, scaring the other kids that are trying to do it officially? I imagine them coming over like with flaming torches, like one hand on the handlebar, flaming torches, and skeleton suits.
You've described a fucking mix between the original Karate Kid and Mad Max. You got an anonymous strapped to the front of a quad bike with a mouth gagballed. and as they rev the quad bike, flames fire out of the front. Amazing, Neil. No, I think that's just you being negative about it. I think like with anything you could say that, oh yeah, so what, you're going to set this up and they're just going to do this. There'll always be that element, but make it accessible to everybody.
You're right, Lee. You are.
It doesn't have to be, you don't have to pay to go in there. Use council money to set up a track and have people who are interested, make one of pull these kids aside and said, hey, we're looking for people to come down and help run this place.
Yeah.
Make them in charge.
Get Melanie Moore on down there. She's such a fucking fan of them.
Exactly.
She knows how to talk to them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, because she's their mum.
Yeah. Ivan update comes in. 4 driving down such and such at the moment look like same lot. And Anonymous says, yes, we just saw 4. Susie Screen Time comes in, another one. At least they've got all the right gear on and not in front of their computer screens.
Oh, that is important. We've established that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck what
I
they
might
do.
start saying the same about rapists and murderers.
I was just about to say that. I might go out raping and say, at least, I'm not sat in front of me Xbox.
Yeah.
Your Honour.
And Anonymous says they wouldn't be damaging people's property in front of a computer screen, though, which we've covered.
Yeah.
Phil Fuckwit comes in, and you are. Perhaps you'd be taken more seriously if you put your name to the complaint. It just seems a bit nesh.
Mesh.
I'm not sure what nesh means, but maybe
Nesh.
it's a cool way of saying something.
Is it N or M?
Nesh. Bit nesh.
Nesh.
Yeah.
Non-established.
I don't know. Nesh. Yeah. Look it up on Urban Dictionary.
We'll have to. I'm intrigued.
And then Sean Senscheck responds to Phil Fuckwit. And she says, Phil, you can't blame this person for being anonymous, given some of the residents thinking it's all okay if kids are acting recklessly. Next, they'll have their windows put in for daring to suggest the little cherubs and their antisocial behaviour need curbing. It's not okay to suggest kids can do what they like. It's not okay for parents to allow it. Rural crime is a big issue, whether by adults or kids.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Big-ish.
Big issue.
No thanks.
Why have you just told me a joke from the mid-90s?
Because she just said it's a big issue.
Oh, okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Oh, one up.
I want up who?
Go to the toilet then. Wilma Whistleblower comes in.
Hang on. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Smell map.
Smell my poo.
No way.
Wilma Whistleblower comes in. The parents for these individuals are keeping their heads down, especially as one might have links to the parish council.
What?
Big.
That's a bomb, isn't it?
Yeah, an absolute bomb. And then guess what happens? Big Brother's always fucking watching. Guess what happens? Yep. Fiona Fun Spoiler comes in. If there is a genuine complaint to be made, please make it to the proper authorities and not add naming and shaming posts on this group. Luckily, none of their faces can be seen or this post would be removed. This is not a group for airing public laundry. But if there is a genuine risk to life or an incident has taken place where a law has been broken, please contact the proper authorities and get an incident number. We please also ask that group members do not leave ambiguous, threatening replies, as it implicates yourself should screenshots be taken and the incident escalates. This is why such posts should not be made in Facebook groups. This thread is closed, and then the thread is shut down.
Oh.
Funny that the thread is closed when the penultimate comment is, we think these kids have links to someone on the parish council. Someone on the parish council has got to the administrator and said, shut it down. Shut it down.
Are we saying that, what's her name? I forget already.
Melanie Moron?
Melanie Moron is on the parish council?
I fucking hope not.
Would you, because do you have to be, what kind of person is on a parish council?
Oh, it's hard to say.
Let me say this: would a person with bad grammar and who comes across as being a bit of somebody who might live in a caravan be on the parish council?
You wouldn't have thought so.
No. So
maybe it's a parent of one of the other kids.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Because we've all hung out with people we probably shouldn't have hung out with, or hung out with people that we wouldn't, I don't know.
You know, in your scrambling days, you probably hung out with some real bad ones, didn't you?
Well, see, I would probably say that I was when I was hanging out with scramblers in the day. Yeah, I was one of the. I could have been the parish council kid.
Yeah.
Like my mum could have been the parish council woman that said shut it down.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I weren't the. I was the one being led astray, basically.
Yeah. Easily led astray.
Easily led astray.
Yeah, so that's that anyway. That's the news from the neighbouring village. Scramblers. If I'll keep an eye on it for an update. If there's an update, we'll probably never tell you.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if my dad can dig out a few photos of me on the scrambler I had when I was a young un.
That would be good.
Yeah, just to prove.
Did you own the scrambler?
No, when my mum and dad split up,
trailer.
When they got divorced,
right?
My dad was together with a lady who lived on a farm. I had a farm,
right.
and she had a son who was the same age as me, and he had a couple. Right. So we would always borrow them, and we'd go off down the tracks. But it was her land. Right. It wasn't a full size one because we were only like 10, 11 years old.
Right. So you were scrambling with boundaries. You weren't reckless like these scramblers.
No. Yeah, no. We never took it onto the roads or anything. It was always on country paths and.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could have probably easily come up against a person walking their dog, or
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah. Also, my great uncle was a speedway rider as well.
Oh right.
Yeah, used to.
That's
ride
a dying
around.
sport, isn't it?
Is it though?
Yes, say that. It is, yeah.
I'd have to disagree.
Oh well, it used to be on Look East, our regional news, all the time. They'd give an update on the speedway, but they don't tend to anymore.
Oh, okay. That means it's dead.
Well, it must mean there's no. Must mean there's a lack of interest.
Yeah, but all right.
What speedway team do you support?
Me?
Yeah.
Reading Rockets.
Who?
Reading Rockets.
Reading Rockets, yeah.
Yeah.
How are they getting
on? My favourite speedway rider when I was a kid was Tony Rickardson. You can look him up.
I've just looked up the meaning of Nesh.
Yeah.
And it says it means unusually susceptible to cold weather. This comment's a bit Nesh.
Frigid.
Anyway, I better go because I need a pee and then I've got a meeting to go to.
That's beautiful. I better go because I haven't had lunch yet. Okay,
cool. Well, you enjoy that.
Yeah.
Listeners, thanks for coming back to season 5. We're glad to all the new listeners. Follow us on all our socials. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and all the others at Village in Crisis. We want to hear from you. We want to know what's going on in your neighbourhood. So get in touch with us on Gmail, villageincrisis@gmail.com. And that's it. Bye, Lee. Until next week.
Yeah. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.